Welcome to a grotty special. We're looking at the Age of Darkness box. So this isn't my copy. This is kindly been lent to me by Kata, one of our Patreons, and we're going to take a look at what's in the box in this funny little packet. Well, so I've got my trusty knife of stab up my fingers. While we have a look at this. You can tell how excited I am. I haven't even taken my time to open it. Necessarily complicated. Have you made a box that I can't open? There it is. We get fancy packaging. Well, this is like cards that tell you how to play it. So I've absolutely no idea how to play it. Did play 7th edition, but it was a long time ago. I remember it. Excited to find out. We've got some interesting looking cards. Then we've got anything else in there. Oh, hello. These are pretty. Oh, these are like tokens, but these are metal. I'm not going to do that Olympic thing. Fight it. I assume that these are, yes, it looks like it. So these are metal coins that go with the cards. Place them on the models that have been issued that order. See? So nice. I think this was pre-order bonus. Got ordered direct from GW rather than a third party. So we'll put that to one side and then we'll get into the main event. Chonky. Make a hash. Try not to damage the box. Especially. So now the shiny is getting out of the way. You can see the cover a little bit better. It's not messing up my autofocus. This is a seriously weighty box. It's a good few kilos, this. So, the truth. So we have got some useless whippy sticks. These are important for rubbish chopsticks and for hitting people. Thing a lot. A game where I don't do that. We've got some classic templates. I think these are the same templates all the way from 3rd edition. They look like it because 2nd edition had those paper ones. I'm sure this is the frame that came in the old 3rd edition box. Quite nice. I miss templates. They do slow the game down, but cool. Besides that, the Ordnance Blast. And then this is the main event. So looking at it, this is, are these like cool? No. So this is your Cataphractic Terminator. Sprues. Those are 2 there. Might just be the 2. 5 bodies on each one of those. 5 sets of legs. So each one of these is 5 Terminators. And it looks like you've got some combi bolters, some chain fists, lightning-ish claws, heavy flamers on there. Doesn't look like, unless it's on something else, that you get any kind of like Reaper auto cannon or anything like that. So it's a little bit disappointing. You do get a heavy flamer and a power sword for you not to put on the Sergeant. The whole point of Relic Tech, well, 40k means you don't have to put power swords on the Sergeant. What's this? Okay, so this looks like our new Mark 6 armor through. So that's in a lot of pieces. I'm not sure, I don't know how well it shows up. I'm not sure how I feel about these shoulder pads are actually split in half. I can see that sticking those together without a seam down it is going to be a nightmare. Try and smooth between these studs. I know why they've done it. They've done it so that you can get that beautiful studded pattern. but it's going to be a pain to build that. Phobos style bolters are gorgeous. The beaky heads are really tasty. They've got really big eye sockets as well, so you might be able to paint them properly without resorting to these splat them across the face and pretend it's OSL technique. I love these little chain bayonets. That's one sprue of those. 2, 3, so many beakies. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Falling off that one. 8 sprues, beakies there, so it's 5 on each sprue. A lot of beakies. What else have we got going on? This looks like our Praetor with a sword. I like this sword. It's got kind of hollow. I didn't really notice that in the pictures. That's quite pretty. You've got a nice hero rock for him to stand on. Some kind of clever Volkite pistol. So that's quite exciting. There's a lot of detail on this. That cloak's nice because there's no split in it, which means that you're going to be able to potentially do it in sub-assemblies. You're not going to have to worry about trying to smooth that off to get rid of any lines. So that'll be nice to get that looking good. With a few of them, they put a line across it. You have to stick it so you can get rid of the seam, which is. What else have we got going on? These look like hello, these. So these seem to be extra parts for your beakies. We've got some various kind of claws and more bayonets, pistols, a couple of Auspexes and a load of grenades. Nice power sword there. Plenty of skulls and everything, which means it's definitely Imperium. Those all traitors equally love skulls. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 sprues, it seems, of these kind of random bonus bits. Nice. Is that? Ah, okay, this is a vehicle upgrade sprue. So that's got a nice classic style dozer blade, which I'm a huge fan of. Love those. Heavy flamer, missile launchers. This looks like things you put your top hatches. So I'm assuming that this will go with our Spartan that I'm excited for. That's the Spartan's twin las cannons or quad las cannons. Any other guns on there? No, it just looks like the quad las cannons there. Are tasty. Yep. So you've got the whole las cannon and it's just got the guard is needs sticking. Vehicle sprue to one side. Here's our other Praetor. Oh, that's not quite so good because you've got a piece of the cloak here. It's going to be, again, a little bit annoying when you're building it to cover up those gaps. So you're going to struggle perhaps to do it in sub-assemblies without leaving a mark. That's something to bear in mind. You're more likely to have to try and build it all in one piece. Maybe just leave the head and the backpack to do those separately. Then it looks like we're getting into our main... Oh, that's a lot of... More track than I care to build. Some sort of interesting weapon. Looks like Volkite. Could be over that. And the bolters. So that's mostly tracks. This looks like half a side, really. And the other half is on this sprue here. So between the two, you've got whole sides of your tank. That to me looks like you could build it without this middle piece. I wonder if they're going to use a variant on this to do that plastic Land Raider with. Just have a slightly different sprue. So because the original Spartan tank was a conversion in White Dwarf. Told you how to extend the original model Land Raider into a Spartan. So I wonder if they're going to reuse some of these sprues because, especially this one here, this definitely looks like it wouldn't take a lot to tweak it into a normal Land Raider. I do wonder if they're going to reuse some of that plastic kit. What else have we got going on here? That looks like our dreadnoughts. We'll talk about that in a second. And here's the other part of the Spartan. So there's the top of the tank, interior design, details. Very nice. I'm quite excited to build this. pretty awesome in red. Here is our brand spanking new plastic contemptor. So we've got our multi-melter, auto cannons, twin las cannon, twin auto cannon, twin heavy bolter, quad heavy bolter. Oh, is that 2 halves or twin heavy bolter? There's your multi-melter. Would have been nice to see the Volkite option for it, but we're out of luck. Same with the chain fist, but chain fists are easy. You just stick a chainsaw on the bottom of the power fist if you really want one. And then here's the parts to make the rest of the model. So the main sort of chassis, we've got the... Well, that's quite neat, so that shouldn't leave too much of a mould line when we're putting that together. I'm interested on the arms of how compatible they are with the resin arms. I'm hoping that it's going to be easy enough to magnetise, so if you've got multiple, say you've got a couple of the resin chapter-specific ones, that you can swap arms between them. I'm sure we'll find out. And I'm also hoping that when they release this, maybe they release some fancy bits to go with the custodes, because the standard Contemptor is a little bit boring with the custodes. Round back. So there's all our sprues. That's a lot. Such a huge box. And then what we've got? We've got one of these fancy cover things. It's not as nice as the other ones I've seen, no? Just sort of shows a lot of the new stuff coming out. I've quite liked the ones we've had recently with all the artwork on that. I mean, it does a job. It protects the rulebook from the sprues. But this feels a little bit more like an advert rather than some interesting art, which is a little bit disappointing. But we'll keep going. We've got the rulebook. Oh, that's a chonker. The size of that. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to have a proper look at that in a minute. We've got hefty... Oh, I wasn't expecting that. So that's got some rules for building things. Land Raider Spartan, 350 points. Okay, so it's got kind of basic rules for the stuff in the box by the looks of it. So if you did buy this box, you could play the game, theoretically, just with the stuff in here. Then we've got the instructions on how to build it later on. I reckon, looking at this, that we've got that in there. I reckon we could magnetise it, put in the other. This flat piece here looks just like the resin one. I'm hoping that we can just slot the same magnet fix that you do with the resin ones. Yeah, look at that. So that's nice. We can tell that they are working to a budget because it's still black and white. Buggers. There's a leg. So we've got going on. So we've got a divider in here. And then we've got a set of dice, scatter dice. That's exciting. I love scatter dice. 40k would be better if it still has scatter dice in it. Dreadnought base, and then a couple of baggies of bases. And we've got our transfers. Now, these look to be just Imperial Fists and Sons of Horus. So if you're planning on doing another Legion, you're going to have to get your transfers somewhere else. The Legion sheets seem to have disappeared off the Forge World site at the moment as well, which is a little bit sad. I'm hoping they come back because they were beautiful. And get some transfers for other Legions. But more transfers is always handy. And that's the box. So let's have a look at that rulebook. So here's the chonker. This is cool. They've not skimped. This is not like a cut down version of the rulebook or anything like that. This is a proper full hardback rulebook. And there's something else attached here as well. Maybe I'll get my art print I'm looking for. So that's an advert to sell me some books. Reference cards. I don't think you get these anymore, but these are always really handy. Something that was always key with the older versions of 40k was the vehicle damage tables. And they're quite complex to try and remember. So this is quite a nice. Got a couple of copies of this. So you can give one to you and one to your opponent. Just for like the important rules that you might need. Here's our beautiful book. We've got some flavour text on the back that I'm not going to read. Classic bit of art. Or Sanguinius. Dicked over. What do we got? So loads of fluff. That's what I like to see. Look at this. Master of Mankind that I want. Beautiful Imperial Knight. That's a good one. There is some fantastic artwork. Loads and loads of fluff. I don't recognise that tank. Oh, Alcian? Custodes, we like those. Malcador, he was a dude. Beautiful. So we've got loads and loads of fluff in there. A little bit of information on the different legions. All the colour plates. One thing that was beautiful about the old black books was the colour plates. So when you're painting, you can see some examples. So I'm glad to see that they've made their way into here and they've not skimped. That, these are fantastic. These are really inspiring me to that's a useless one though. You'd think that if you're going to go colour plate of someone's armour, you wouldn't cover the entire armour with a ginormous shield. Comrade Kurz was a whiny bitch. Sanguinius is the best. The only one we really care about. These are going to look fantastic in red. Oh, look at that lovely filigree. I don't know if it'll come across on the camera there. Amazing filigree art on there. This is worth getting almost just for the art and the fluff itself. So we'll look at that another time. Well, I'm going to look at that later. Oh, Talons of the Emperor. So we've also got the other stuff in here. Well, assassins, eh? Look at that. And the Ordo Sinister. I don't know if we're going to get any models for the Ordo Sinister, but I really hope we do. Psi Titan in 28mm scale would be incredible. So, then we skip ahead. More beautiful art. And we've got the rules. So these are a variation of 7th edition, but they've made a few more changes. So I'm quite interested to see how that's going to go. And how they've changed it. I like this idea of reactions so that you're always doing something in your opponent's turn as well as your own. It's not sort of, I'll just stand here while you kill all my models because it's your turn. That's exciting. So, universal special rules. Like that. Some rules for fortifications. Beautiful. Then, what have we got? Oh, this is pretty. So this last section here, Gaming in the Age of Darkness, is we've got some examples of people's armies. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful. Swords, Living Guard, Death Guard. Come on, we know what we're looking for. We know what we're looking for. He's not there. Why have we not got our fabulous Hawk Boy? Nobody cares about Night Lords. Really disingenuous. How to play some games. Nice custodes there, but still no fabulous Hawk Boys. More custodes there. A knight who I really want because look at the size of his chunky arms. I'm waddling about. Warhound Titan. Second coolest Titan. Soltarvitz, he was a legend. So, few missions. Still no fabulous Hawk Boys. Psychic powers. And a copy of the reference sheets at the back there. And because you need it in a giant book that you paid this much money for, an advertisement for some books. Lovely. So that is the Age of Darkness box. You should have seen all the bits that come in it. I've just realised I've recorded the whole thing upside down, but I'm not putting the cellophane back on to do it again. It's a fantastic box. It's a fantastic book. I'm really excited to read all about this. The value for money seems to be there. So if you're looking to get into it, it's probably a good way to get started with it. For 40k, maybe not. Nobody needs 40 Tactical Marines, but with the new weapons packs and things, maybe there's going to be a use. But I wouldn't buy this just for 40k. A lot of the value is in this beautiful book. So if you've enjoyed this content or you've got any questions about it, please leave a comment below. Remember to like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.